Alright, today's the day, part 2, where we tackle one of my more deep-seated fears, which is finite tinkering with really small things. Because I don't have the steadiest of hands, and it's not that delicate, I think, but still, it's like electronics, so if you scratch one thing, then suddenly the whole board doesn't work or something. I don't know, that's at least my experience. Might not be the same with this one. Okay, so no, I didn't do what I was originally planning on doing because I had all the cleaning materials there, so I thought, why not go with the advice of this different video that I found, different from the first time that I opened this up. This is the second time that I'm opening this up, and this time around, some extra steps while I was inside the box was advised, and so I decided to try those out. And so if the joystick functions come back, that would be amazing, but otherwise I'm just going to quickly pop it back into the controller, not really reassemble it wholeheartedly, but I just want to see if the stick drift is still there. And so if it is, then I move on to what I said in the previous video, where I will take out a few components that dictate the analog inputs, and then maybe leave the spring so I can still click the button. So I gave it a shot, and it was still drifting mostly to the right, but it was a little bit back. I think that was slightly different from when I was drifting last time, but so I think there is a solution there. But I am not so invested in this particular outdated headset that I want to really get in the weeds about how to go about restoring the joystick itself. So I'm just going to go with my original plan. We're going to take out the sensor like antenna looking things. And hopefully I'm still able to just use the joystick alone with the as a button. It's always frustrating when I get in there and I clean it out, and then I pop it back in, reassemble it, and then when I jump into some virtual instance, the drift isn't fixed, but it changed. And that's always frustrating because then that means that there is something affecting it, but I guess I just didn't do a good enough job of cleaning or something. And I'm really gross and sweaty right now, and I don't want to be hovering over the electronics in the controller while in this state. So I think that's going to be it for today. I'm going to tear that box out again. I'm going to open it up, remove the sensors that I think are the problem, reassemble it, and then the video tomorrow, I guess, will be the test run, the sensorless test run. My overactive imagination can easily see that I do all of that. I take out what I think is the problem, and for some reason, it doesn't fix a thing. I'm still going to be drifting in some direction or another. But, you know, as of right now, it's still a solution that we haven't tried yet, so I have no ground on which to stand. We just have to wait and see. Okay, so the worst, in theory, outcome has occurred. After dinner, there was a bit of sunlight left, so I thought, you know what? F it. Let's just do the thing. So I took apart the controller for a second time today and opened up the control box, took out the two sensors that I thought were the problem, and reassembled the entire thing. And I mean the entire thing. Like, it's the only part of it that looks like the Rebel Alliance ships anymore is this outer ring. And I don't know if I'm ever actually going to get that ring back on there. I think it's just forever going to be off. But that aside, so I decided to come back in here and just test it out. It's all together. It's there. All it needs is a battery. And this is what happened. So apparently, the two sensors that I took out aren't the only thing that's giving it its directional inputs. So I'm back to the drawing board as far as research goes, but yeah, I don't know. One thing I did learn, though, as a result of this, was that when the sensors were in there and I cleaned them and I tested them out, it was the same direction. It was back and to the right. So it's diagonally just kind of that way that it wants to take me. The other thing that I learned is that if I quickly activate the action menu, then motion inputs stop in this hand. And then it defaults back to what I've been doing for the past, like, what feels like 3 years now or something. I think it's been shorter than that. But one-handed motion, all controlled with the hand that I've had in virtual reality for forever, it feels like. The only downside to that, and well, before I get to that, so now I'm able to actually do gestures and stuff as long as I don't deactivate the action menu that's attributed to this hand. The only downside to that, though, is that I'm kind of defaulted to accidentally throwing tomatoes every once in a while. And I don't know, that's kind of funny, but at the same time, it could be pretty rude, I guess, at inopportune moments. So here's where I'm at right now mentally. I'm able to function with two hands at a certain point in VR chat, at least. Maybe I should take it into Resonite and see what that kind of looks like. But the two things that I can't really do are really sort of use the trigger at all. Like I can use the grab button. So the trigger is the thing that if it's not on cooldown will throw a tomato at inopportune times. The grab button on the side, so trigger, grab button, I can use that freely. And then the thumb down just by touching the buttons, those work. But because of the way that the directional input is messed up, I guess, the press down that I tried to preserve so wholeheartedly, that's not working. Also, if I try to go into the Quest, I guess now, Oculus's main menu with the like little start button. So if there's, it's really hard to see in this light. But anyway, so there's like main button 1, main button, so it's main button 1, main button 2, and then the start button, the menu button. That also oddly doesn't work. So I don't know what's going on there either. So as long as I'm in the action menu, the main purpose of all of this is available, which is the gestures. So as long as I can grab things and as long as I can like point at things, then it helps in certain aspects. But just the fact that I can't access the menu, like for example, even with this thing plugged in, if I try to access the main menu with this thing to like say switch avatars or change worlds, that deactivates the action menu on this hand. So even then, the action menu or the main menu vanishes because I'm moving away from it. So in order to access the main menu, I have to take the battery out and yeah, I just really want Valve/Steam to like at least give us the hope of a hint of some index version 2 thing out there, because that's really what I'm waiting for. Otherwise, I guess Vive is hinting at some very promising things, and they've brought down their what I guess a lot of the internet sees as a disappointment, the Vive XR Elite. They brought that price point down by a lot. So I don't know. I guess if desperation comes to desperation. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, I think. I am white.